right, good morning, good morning. Today's video is entitled, Bringing It Back from the Dead. I bought this charger with my first VW. I think I lived in Hawaii, 1988 maybe. And this thing has followed me around for years, keeping things charged, doing electrolysis. It's just a workhorse. And I just had to charge, I let my van battery get cold and sit for like a month, and go figure, it died. So we charged it up to see if we can save it. And as I was finishing up, I looked down in here and I'm like, this is cruel. So I'm gonna take a few minutes today, and I thought to show you that it's never too late. Look, spray paint, you can't even barely see the gauge. I don't even know if it's worth the effort, but to me it is. We go back a long way. I've never had to do any work on it. So let's see if we can give it a new life. Okay, I've noticed a couple of dents in it too. Might have been dropped once or twice, who knows. And you can see it's a pretty basic layout charger, full of crud. And a little bend on the back. The bottom is completely bent. There's things growing in there. So I'm gonna finish taking the sheet metal off, and we're gonna see if we can't bring breather back. Again, it's mostly a cleanup, but why not? Okay, she's open. This is what we're working with. It's worse than I thought. We're gonna label those wires up and get them all pulled off. Get it down to nothing. Okay, these components are all attached to the metal, where the metal was folded to make a catch. So I'd have to bend the metal to take everything off. And so I'm gonna clean it up as is to see if it's worth going that step and risk not being able to get them to right now everything's on there tight, and it just needs a good cleaning. So let's do that and decide from there. I'm gonna dust it all off. Disassembled. Okay, I gotta dust it off, and there's a coating, a heavy coating, top and bottom. You can kind of see it there a little. But that seals everything, all these components to the bottom. So I would have to pry it apart to go any further than that with the disassembly. So now we're just gonna finish dusting it off and try and clean all these wires off, get all that built-in dust out, and things aren't really in bad shape though. God, I can't believe this thing is still going. I'm also gonna try and fix the dent in the back here. Actually, I'll probably do that right now. Look at that. Yeah. I'm gonna take the other sheet metal parts down to the deep sink and give them a scrub before I go any further with that. With some real careful prying, I was able to get the plastic that's coated in overspray and whatnot. You can see, can you? Yeah, out of there. So now I'm gonna try a couple of easy fixes. I'm gonna put a little bit of Plastex on it. I wanna kind of gently buff that paint off without scraping it off. It's paint, it's slag, it's all sorts of things. So we'll try a couple of different things and see what might work. Okay, you can see it's pulling off some of it. I don't expect that it'll get shiny again. I don't have any plastic that thin to make a new one. But I think we can work with what we got. If Plastex won't do it, nothing will. I'm kidding. Something else will. I'm afraid it's also pretty scratched up over the years. You know, what, 40 years? Something like that. Okay, I'm going to show you the magic. You put some of this here Plastex on there, right? You swirl it around with your brush. Just got a little acid brush taped tight so the bristles are tight. Get it scrubbed in there. And this is the important part. Coffee. And then I'm using a craft stick, but I guess you can use whatever, with a slight angle. And as I do it, it's hard to see, to me even, but the Plastex gets dirtier, and the plastic gets clearer. So I don't really see the, it's not satisfying of scraping it right off, but it's coming off. And I'm happy with it. I'm not gonna get all of that out, but it is getting a lot smoother even to the touch. So we'll go a little deeper and I'll show you where I settled on. Deal? I tried some glass cleaner. Obviously we tried the Plastex. I did touch a little bit of the rubbing compound on the edge to see if that would help, but it didn't really. But through all of that, we came out with at least a legible dial, and I'm happy with it. It's kind of foggy, but not because it's been rubbed out, but some of that stuff just won't come off. But it feels smooth, it looks good. We're gonna move on. Okay, I'm just cleaning up the ends of the screws, getting all the dust out of them, and getting the sheet metal put back on. Then we'll give it a final cleaning, make sure it still works. We'll be done. And then I wanted to show you something. I think I mentioned it earlier, but it's probably the most important part of this whole process, this whole evolution. Drink your coffee. And if you don't think that's ice cold by now, you're crazy. I wanted to say real quick, I'm amazed at how tight these little sheet metal screws got. Something this old, in and out, I think I've opened it up once in the years I've had it. But anyway, they just wear out, and you go to tighten them up and the metal's stripped out and they're no good. These things tightened up like this thing was brand new. I think the metal is a higher, heavier gauge than you would get nowadays. So I'm gonna get a clean towel, give it a final wipe, and then we'll test. Look at the shine on that thing. And you can see if we hit 2 amp, we get about 11.5 volts. The only load on here is the meter. And at 6 amps, 13.4 volts. So I'm calling it a win. I think she's gonna work for more than a few more years. All right then. So this was just a cleanup kind of day, but it's something that I've been saying I should do for 10 years. I'm horrible, but here she is, just a champ. I looked it up for grins before. Here, say goodbye. That's the after. Yeah, just for grins, I looked this thing up on eBay, and this same model is for $75. If I needed one, I'd buy it. The thing is worth it. It's heavy duty. It's gone, and I've put it to do things. I needed a 12-volt power supply for some troubleshooting. Break it out. Is it very regulated? Not so much. But it worked. Anyway, tool maintenance day. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next week, I hope. All right, bye.